Hello community, I'm Rohit Vaksore. I'm working as a software developer at Frappe, and today I'm here to talk about some feature we have developed in version 7. So let's see one by one. Timesheet. Many of you heard a phrase, it's about time. Yeah, and mostly for the companies, like they perform their payroll process payroll as well customer billing based on time. So they need some documentation where they capture the working hours of an employee, and from where they can easily perform the payroll processment and the billing of the customer. So if you see in version 6, there was a time lock, but there was no any option to make payroll processment against the time lock. So system user has to do it out of of the system. So to resolve all these issue, we have introduced a timesheet in version 7. So uh, user has to user has to enter the time interval in the grid. They can make a daily timesheet as well weekly timesheet. If you just see here, I have made this weekly timesheet, and I can easily make invoice as well salary slip of an employee from this timesheet. Next feature is warehouse. In version 6, actually, warehouse has some racks, some bins, and in version 6, to maintain this, user has to create a separate warehouse against each entity. So now we have introduced a warehouse string where you can set up location as a group, then rack, then bin against that rack. Again, one more good feature, that item reorder at group level. Now user can set uh, reorder level at a group. So system checks the sub warehouses. If the sum of quantities all the in that warehouse is less than the reorder level quantity, then only system creates a material request for that item. Next feature is request for quotation. Request for quotation is basically to invite the suppliers for a bidding, and this feature was not available in version 6. So we have added this feature. With the help of this feature, you can invite your supplier to log in into your account and make a quotation. In the version 6, this process user has to manually send material request to the supplier, and then once he get the rates from the supplier, then he had to make manually supplier quotation in the system. But with version 7, supplier can enter the rate, and just after submit, system will create the supplier quotation. Next feature is budget. Again, budget is the most important for every company, and this feature was hidden in the version 6. Hidden means it was inside the cost center. So user has to open the cost center, and then they have to make a budget inside that cost center. So we have introduced a separate form for a budget. So same thing, you can create the budget against the cost center and the fiscal year. Again, with this form, user can easily maintain the history of the budget, which was not in the version 6. Now, now we see some different kind of features. Different kind of means, if you ask any system users about his desire, what he will tell you? He will tell you that I want to make a quick entry. I want to make records fast. So quick entry or fast record, which means what? I mean, should we uh, should we minimize the field? But just think about, if we minimize the field, how item master will look. item master with 2 fields, customer master with 3 fields. It not looks good. Even that ERP doesn't work. So what will be the solution? Let's see. First feature we have developed quick entry. We have just shown mandatory fields to the user, so they can easily create a form, easily create a record, and if they're necessary, they will add after some time. Just see, I'm on the sales order form, and I found that the required item is not available in the system. So from sales order form, I can easily create an item without leaving the sales order form. Next is editable grid. Uh, grid is a grid plays an important role in ERP Next. If you just look at any form, sales order, purchase order, or any transaction, every form has a grid table. In version 6, to make a data entry in the grid, user has to expand that grid. It's difficult for if you want to enter the 100 records. Just imagine that. So user gets stuck by entering the 100 records. So to resolve this issue, we have introduced a editable grid. Now user can easily edit the data from the grid. No need to expand unless and until they have to enter more data. Next feature is, yeah. So in version 6, if you are creating a new item, then there will be no option to enter the opening stock as well rate. User has to first create the item, then create the item price, and then create the stock entry for opening stock. But now in version 7, they can easily put the opening stock as well the standard selling rate at the time of making an item. So that's it for me. I hope you enjoy my session, and we have a next Paris here.